Now I know that it's going to be shocking, but Yo Hioris will not assist Isagi. Yo, what's going on everybody, it's Animasu as always, bringing you guys another weekly theory video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing some of my personal theories for chapter 226, as well as looking at some of your theories from my comment section and my Discord. If you guys enjoy these types of videos, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, comment on my videos, and even join the community Discord if that interests you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and please enjoy the video. So guys, just before we get into the theories, we always have to take a look back at the actual chapter and pick out what's important from that. If you do want a more detailed look at them, I do post weekly chapter reviews on the new chapters, so make sure to be tuning in for those. Anyways, one of 225's first and most important moments happens with Gagamaru's previously teased flow state. With Barou going for an absolute goal here, it's obviously destined for failure from the start, because Gagamaru straight up catches it roughly while flying in the air. After this badass save, our boy ends up throwing the ball into obviously isagi yoichi, who has his own plans in mind. Being assisted by Yukimiya Kinyu and Noah, Isagi is working his way up the field with maximum efficiency. Well, that is until the foul merchants over at Uber's took out our man Noah. No matter though, bluelock's golden child just continues along with Yukimiya, executing onward with his perfect plan. Having what seems to be an obvious goal-scoring opportunity, Isagi ran forward while expecting a ground pass from Yukimiya. This did not happen, however, as being man-marked by both Lorenzo and another defender, Yukimiya was ultimately pressured into passing a lob. Obviously here though, because it's Yukimiya, this lob pass was not good enough or wanted, as Snuffy was able to easily arrive and clear the ball before Isagi. The chapter then ends off there with Isagi having the realization that maybe he shouldn't rely on a half-blind guy for good vision. Instead, he needs somebody like him with world-class football IQ and vision. Somebody like Yo Hioris. With the chapter closing off with Hiori watching Isagi closely, even more fired up to get into the game, let's talk about some potential outcomes for chapter 226. Now starting off with the most obvious clue, we'll be taking a look at chapter 226's title, Letter of Resignation. For all of you people there who don't know what it is, a formal letter of resignation is what you turn into your big boss man when you're fed up with dealing with their shit. You feel me? Basically, you're quitting. Anyways, the most obvious correlation that this serves right off the bat is in relation to the philosophy of Italy's Ubers. Snuffy preaches time and time again to his players that football is a job. Now this may sound like a confusing and simple message at first, but let's take a deeper look into it. The actual meaning behind what Snuffy is saying relates directly to our player's ego and long-term drive. He understands the possibilities behind passions and dreams, but is also aware that those things can only get you so far in life. If your ideals, if your dreams, if your own ego isn't good enough, what will be? Multiple times throughout the series, we've witnessed the lack of proper drive with players such as Barou, Nagi, and specifically Yukimiya. Remember when Barou almost lost everything due to his unwillingness to be a team player? Or when Nagi showed us the constant struggle of even maintaining interest in the game? Multiple times throughout bluelock, we constantly witness these instances where players seem to be lost in their ways, leaving them unable to perform consistently at their highest potential. Especially with this man Yukimiya Kinyu that we're going to talk about some more later, his delusion of God never giving him more than he can handle is expressed and shown to be an ineffective mentality, as even a fluke goal would have ruined him even further. What does this have to do with Snuffy's philosophy then? Well, that's a simple question. The whole football is a job aspect provides the solution to all of their issues by expecting only one thing from them. Use every possible tool at your disposal to achieve victory, as it is your job to do so. In order to reach the highest levels of football, you'll have to understand that not every game will be amazing. Not every goal will be a screamer. Understand that nothing else matters but getting the job done, by playing as optimally as possible until the final second. Anyways, with the link being fully made between the title and Snuffy's philosophy, the question then comes down to, who's quitting what? The first and most obvious answer here is to refer to the star change system, with the title indicating that the chapter's supposed resignation will be the two master strikers, removing themselves from the field. Now some of you may feel like this is a little short-lived for their playtime, but we have to remember two things here. The pacing of each match is very different, and the NEL is not just about the master strikers. Snuffy has already shown himself to be a sufficient enough threat through just his strategies, so him even being on the field right now is hella overkill. Noah as well has just been vibing out there, and now could possibly be facing some ankle pain after Aiku's Brexit tackle. This is just one interpretation of it though, because I have another character in mind that it could refer to. The King of Ubers. The Lion himself. Barou could be who this 226 title is about. Now if the title were to refer to Snuffy as we talked about, the thing he would be resigning from would be his showtime on the field, matching his job-themed philosophy as I said. For Barou, however, it would be more like stepping down from his throne, rejecting the given duty he has as king of the Ubers. Although he did get fed an hat-trick against Bartra and an entry frag against BM, the Uber's current situation isn't showing to be very efficient for Barou. Time after time, we've talked about him facing interceptions, missed shots, and just overall disrespect from the author. With even as recent as chapter 225, when we watched him lose against a flow state Gagamaru, I didn't see it to be unrealistic that Barou could back himself a goal here. Reverting back to his old self, we would potentially see the chaos bringing Isagi hunting monster once more, as he would just rampage throughout the field. This would bring field-wide confusion across both Bastard Munchen and the Ubers, with possibly Lorenzo still linking up with him. If you want me to be completely honest, Mark Snuffy has probably already planned for this as well, maybe by assigning Lorenzo the task of reining him in. It'd be insanely awesome for us to see a chaotic and rampage-fueled goal from Barou, as he finally gets his get back for all that's happened. Bro's just gonna sink a top bin against Gagamaru, while telling Snuffy that he can fuck right off or something. I just had to include this idea in here for all of my Barou fans, because I know it's been rough out here recently, and trust me, y'all should just hold out some hope. Now, as we've talked about involving Barou, obviously, the big GOATGamaru hit this man with the shutdown back in 225, as he entered the flow state as a goalkeeper. We've already talked about all the reasons he needed an evolution and some value, but the question I have for you guys is, do you think that's it? If the 226 title really does refer to either Snuffy or Barou, it's likely that both outcomes will result in some sort of goal for the Ubers. It's feeling like an 80% chance here that Mark Snuffy will not leave the field without securing his team a goal, which makes me wonder how they'll manage to do so against this cracked out GK. As we talked about in our last theory video, I was kind of expecting the Ubers to shoot some continuous goal attempts at Gagamaru, and I think that would actually be an even better opportunity for it now. With Snuffy clearing the lob pass that Yukimiya sent, I wouldn't mind if the Ubers go and gain repossession of the ball, to then raise hell for poor Gagamaru. Seeing a few saves out of him, most likely 2 to 3, Gagamaru will once again raise himself some value while showing off his flow state fully. The end result would ultimately be an Uber's goal like I said, but the situation itself would serve to both advance and flex Gagamaru, while also advance the game. Moving on though, the reason I did say an 80% chance that the Ubers would score again is because I do believe that Bastard Munchen could potentially win 3-1. It's entirely possible that Mark Snuffy does run out of time without scoring or assisting a goal, which then would give Bastard Munchen the upper hand. Yo Hioris, Isagi's obvious missing piece, would then be subbing into the game very soon, which could obviously result in some huge things happening here. Assisting Isagi with itoshi side level passes, Isagi could truly bring out his full striker potential by having someone on his level giving these passes. Now when I say on his level, it's in reference to game IQ and senses, because I truly think that Yo Hioris will awaken Metavision. Literally being the person to basically awaken it in Isagi, you guys all remember when he was giving him advice on how to react first and think while in the action. His knowledge on the topic already seems like proof enough, however in the last chapter, it's even more obvious. With Isagi receiving a lob pass from Yukimiya, the ball is easily cleared away, which Yo Hioris expected, even from the bench. With everyone else cheering on Yuki during the play, both Isagi and Hioris seemed to be in sync, as they knew that this was not the right choice. Even directly after this, it once again alludes to Hioris being the missing puzzle piece that Isagi needs, as this piece is just someone with competent vision. If it's gonna bother him that much, honestly, next time Isagi needs to gift Yuki a walking stick and some glasses if he's gonna complain, because he's taking this way too far. Anyways, with Hioris subbing in place of most likely Noah after the star train system, his contribution may end up being far more than we thought. What if, instead of playing for just Isagi, he actually ends up assisting KAISER in the end, stemming from a non-biased playing approach? Now I know, this sounds crazy at first, but I believe that Noah will demand him to do so, in order to give BM a chance to evolve as a team. The only problem with this is it would result in Isagi losing their little competition, which I do think is important for various reasons. As I've stated numerous times before, I honestly don't know how the PXG game will even go if KAISER and Isagi cannot at least coexist somewhat. That's why I think Hiori would be the perfect candidate to chain these two together, playing a similar game to what Itoshi's side did in the U20 match. May the best striker score type shit. He'll feed you passes when it's optimal, so you better do what you can with him. Now for the next segment of this video, I'm actually going to be looking at some of your personal theories. If you'd ever like to share, discuss, and have your theories make it into the videos, make sure to be interacting with my YouTube community section or even join the public Discord if that interests you. Anyways, our first commenter theory comes from NoTryRL, who has quite a few predictions here. First and foremost, he also believes that the title Letter of Resignation refers to the star change system. With a goal provided by Snuffy, the 3-minute time limit for Noah and him will run out, allowing for Yo Hioris to then sub into the game. Now compared to other theories, the very interesting part of this is who he thinks will score the next BM goal. With Hiori coming out onto the field, rather than assisting Isagi, or even KAISER, Hiori will assist Yukimiya Kinyu in scoring the game-winning goal. Now I actually find this outcome to be a super dope idea for 2 reasons here. He specifically points out that although he will score a goal here, Yukimiya's bad performance the rest of the match will still stick, leading to his value not really rising all too much. With 44 Panther Snipe Chigiri being a winger in the same league, most of the bids are going to be going his way for sure, making it nearly impossible for Yuki to even show out enough. Especially when teams have access to their damn medical history. I mean, who would you guys want? A guy who tore his ACL one time in the past, or a guy who currently runs into walls because his vision is too splotchy? I'm just saying, easy choice. Anyways, the second reason I really like Yuki scoring is because it allows Isagi and KAISER's competition to continue on. With them currently battling it out to see who can score the most, it's looking more and more like this little competition should continue on into the PXG match. Although they will hopefully be working more as a team, I still think that the underlying drive of the competition would push both Isagi and KAISER to even greater heights, and these greater heights will be needed against PXG and the hellfire we'll see from them. Moving on to our second theory here, we're not really going to talk about it that long as I just wanted to shout this person out. Rayer Harmonia thinks that Yo Hioris will be the one to teach those damn kids some teamwork. By assisting with KAISER in what we expect to be a later chapter, Hiori will effectively instill some teamwork into BM like we said earlier, helping them evolve even further. Although we've already talked about this, I just wanted to shout this person out because damn, we're on the same wavelength. Anyways, for our final theory we'll be looking at, this one actually comes straight over from my community Discord. Our boy G-Bands with the Choppa PFP believes that Hiori will obviously be subbed in this game. As usual, we'll get to see some dialogue and talking between Isagi and him. However, another conversation will take place as well that we won't get to hear. KAISER and Ness will have a little chat as we're nearing this game's end, which the effects of will be seen once the game restarts. He actually believes that Ness will activate his flow state here, which as much as I hate to say, I would kinda love to see. Ness has been super useless this game, due to the fact of Isagi and KAISER's rivalry. I mean, this kid is taking it more personal than the actual people beefing, which has led to endless mistakes and just lackluster gameplay. Now we do know that he's not a bad player in the least, so if KAISER could somehow just rein him in and get him into flow, I'm gonna be honest, this striker competition would be over in 5 minutes at that damn point. Anyways, if you guys are excited for chapter 226, make sure to drop a comment down below letting me know. My official overview will be released either late Tuesday or early Wednesday of next week, so make sure to stay tuned for that. As always, if you amazing people enjoy these theory videos, my chapter reviews, or anything else here, then thank you. Make sure to check that you're subscribed to the channel, commenting on my videos, and even join my community Discord if that interests you. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I hope you all have an amazing day.